There was a time when the voice of God spoke into a world that no longer listened. Scripture reveals a generation consumed by violence, corruption, and self-will, so broken that it grieved the very heart of God. Yet even in that deep darkness, the Lord found one man who still walked in righteousness. One man who chose obedience over approval, faith over fear. One man willing to trust God beyond reason, beyond ridicule, beyond fear, and trust over understanding. His name was Noah, and through his life, God revealed both the seriousness of judgment and the beauty of mercy, opening the way for hope beyond the storm. What if obedience meant standing alone while everyone else walked away? What would you do if God told you a flood was coming and no one else believed you? Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful and well-known stories in the Bible, the story of Noah and the Ark. A story of faith, obedience, judgment, and hope for a new beginning. The Bible tells us that in the early days of humanity, the world had become filled with violence, corruption, and wickedness. People had turned away from God, choosing their own desires over what was right. God looked upon the earth and saw how broken it had become. His heart was grieved, not out of anger alone, but out of deep sorrow for what humanity had become. But in the middle of all that darkness, one man stood out. His name was Noah. The Bible describes Noah as a righteous man, faithful, blameless among his generation, and someone who walked with God. God revealed his plan to Noah. A great flood was coming, one that would cleanse the earth of its corruption. But God also made a promise. Noah and his family would be saved. God instructed Noah to build an ark, a massive wooden vessel, large enough to carry Noah and his family, and two of every kind of animal, male and female. This task was enormous. The ark was over 400 feet long, built with no modern tools and constructed on dry land. People likely mocked Noah. They laughed. They doubted. But Noah didn't argue. He didn't quit. He obeyed. When the ark was finished, the animals came, just as God said they would. Pairs of animals entered the ark, and Noah, his wife, his sons, and their wives followed. Then something incredible happened. God shut the door of the ark. Rain began to fall, not just for hours or days, but for 40 days and 40 nights. Waters rose from the earth and poured from the heavens. The flood covered mountains, valleys, and everything in between. Every living thing outside the ark perished. But inside the ark, Noah and his family were safe. While chaos consumed the world, the ark floated, protected by God's promise. After the rain stopped, the waters remained for months. The ark drifted silently across the flooded earth. Noah waited. He sent out a raven, then a dove. The dove returned with an olive leaf, a sign that dry land was appearing. Finally, after more than a year inside the ark, God spoke again. It was time to leave. When Noah stepped onto dry ground, his first act was to build an altar and thank God. God then made a powerful covenant, not just with Noah, but with all humanity. He promised never again to destroy the earth with a flood. As a sign of that promise, God placed a rainbow in the sky, a reminder of mercy, a reminder of faithfulness, a reminder that even after judgment, God offers hope. The story of Noah isn't just about a flood. It's about trusting God when no one else understands. It's about obedience in the face of doubt, faith in the middle of uncertainty, and the belief that God always provides a way through the storm. So the next time you see a rainbow, remember, it's not just a beautiful sight. It's a promise.